Hi, welcome to my Compound Life. I'm Jonathan. This is a channel where we build assets, we build habits, and of course, we build freedom. That will be financial freedom, time freedom for you, me, and anyone else that watches my channel. So I make Bitcoin related video or video about personal investment almost on a daily basis. So if you are keen enthusiast on Bitcoin, do drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comment section who you are. Okay, and keep up with my content and chat to me on the comment section. Love to hear from all of you guys. So today, Bitcoin Daily, the video format is slightly different because it just is. Someone's occupying my office. But anyway, let's start with price action. So I don't have anything to share with you guys on screen, but I think overall price actions pretty suck. I think in yesterday's video, I've called out the fact that we should really hold that 90,500. I think from yesterday's price action, we certainly went up a little bit to about $91,000, $91,100. But of course, it never quite held, and then it brought us back down to about $89,000. Now, price at the time of recording, the Saturday afternoon in the UK, West Midlands, we are around 89,200. Okay, so we're hoping that we can claim that 90,500. Obviously, we cannot. But certainly for now, it doesn't seem Bitcoin is going down further in terms of volume. It's very, very limited. It's still holding at 89,000, above 89,000. So yeah, I think we will see whether it will continue to hold. But overall, I think sentiment-wise, it's pretty bearish on the whole of social media. I don't know about you guys, but the fact that, you know what, if you follow through my video content on a daily basis, throughout the past month, I've constantly, throughout the past 2 months, actually, I think ever since December, November, December period, I've started to make, to have more of an effort to create daily content. I've kind of emphasized the fact that, guys, we need to be prepared that very likely this year, I mean, if we still follow through the 4-year cycle, this year, essentially, we will be going lower for Bitcoin towards a bear cycle, right? So I've tried to prepare all of us on this. But at the same time, there are a portion of analysts still believe that there could be another leg up for Bitcoin, potentially because Bitcoin rightfully should follow gold, silver, M2 money supply, ISM business cycle, etc., right? But anyway, as long as you've got a hodl bag as well as a swing bag for Bitcoin, you know what? It doesn't matter, right? As long as you're not on leverage, as long as you've got your hodl bag, it doesn't matter. The worst, you just have to wait until the next cycle, right? But anyway, coming back to the price action, I know it's frustrating. I'm also equally frustrated by this too, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think let's move on to the news section that I believe will have impact onto the price action, I think, for the coming weeks. Okay, so let's start off with number one, Canada tariffs, right? So this just came out. So Donald Trump, he just tweeted this on his Truth Social. He actually said, if Governor Carney thinks he is going to make Canada a drop-off port for China to send goods and products into the United States, he is sorely mistaken. China will eat Canada alive, completely devour it, including the destruction of their businesses, social fabric, and general way of life. If Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be hit with 100% tariffs against all Canadian goods and products coming into the USA. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Wow. Okay, so looks like tariffs. Again, tariff threats return. I don't know how it's going to impact the stock market, but this time round, it's only for Canada, right? So we had like global tariffs before, stocks and shares, I think, fell more than 15 or 20% for some cases. Bitcoin obviously fell too. For the time that Trump tweeted this on Truth Social, I think there hasn't been too much knee-jerk reaction on Bitcoin. But I do personally expect some knee-jerk reaction from investors from Wall Street from Monday when market opened. So bear that in mind. Any form of tariffs will simply be terrible because investors simply don't like uncertainty. So we will see. We will see on Monday. But so far, I haven't seen too much price action for Bitcoin. So I guess all good. You never know. But anyway, I think a few more things to look forward to next week. I think a pretty key one would be the FOMC meeting that would take place across 27th and 28th of Jan. That will be Tuesday and Wednesday. And usually, I think by Tuesday, we should have some highlight on whether can we expect a rate cut or not. But I think overall prediction market and pretty much everyone has already priced in the fact that there probably wouldn't be any rate cut immediately, or at least for January, right? So for that case, I think somehow for the short term, it's going to continue to be bearish for Bitcoin because simply there aren't any catalysts anymore out there to try to push the price higher for us to reclaim 90,000 or get back into 90,000 or even, push us even higher, going back to the recent high of 95,000, right? Or even try to get us back into the 200-day simple moving average, which is now, I reckon now is around 100,000, right? So not too much catalyst yet. And of course, I think Clarity Bill progression, it's back for discussion. I think from the White House perspective, there are also initiatives to try to push that forward. However, will it actually land, will the bill be in an agreeable state that will eventually land onto President Trump's desk for signing? Somehow, I don't foresee that to come until much later, maybe March or even July this year. So I think this is a very, very key one because I think investors really kind of, rely on this as part of a very crucial catalyst for Bitcoin as well as crypto overall. So we will see. Other things, Tesla. I think Tesla's quarterly earnings call will be next week. I mean, it's a Bitcoin video, right? So let's just talk about Bitcoin. But having a pretty decent sized Tesla back, yeah, it's definitely top of mind attention, for myself. And of course, other news, I think that's definitely worth the while to cover. Bitcoin company, well, Bitcoin and crypto company BitGo, right? Not sure whether you guys heard of them. They just went public on the New York Stock Exchange. So BitGo is a leading crypto custody and infrastructure firm founded back in 2013. And they provide secure storage, wallets, staking, and settlement for institutions, basically. So safeguarding well over $100 billion in digital assets. So as a Bitcoin holder, us, right, I care about, this kind of news, especially when companies as such gets debuted in the New York Stock Exchange, right? So their ticker symbol is BTGO. Okay, so I think they raised approximately 212 million for being listed and valued the company at around $2.5 billion. Okay, so this mainstream public listing, it boosts crypto's legitimacy. It definitely attracts more institutional capital. And of course, I think improves industry security standard, for them being like secure storage, wallet, staking, yada, yada, yada. And of course, it will signal stronger Bitcoin adoption moving forward, right? So potentially fueling positive momentum for Bitcoin as it goes truly mainstream. So I think all of these are good news. But certainly it doesn't pump Bitcoin price, but I think these are all positive momentum for Bitcoin. Okay, a few more hopiums that I want to bring for you guys. Coinbase CEO just revealed that largest banks in the world are now going all in on crypto. Okay, so watch the video here. I'm just going to play this.
I met with one of the top 10 global banks in the world yesterday, and the CEO told me, crypto is my number one priority. We view that this is existential. We're all in. We're going to put all.
Why is it existential for them? Why do you think?
Because they're seeing, it's like when the internet came around, and you had Amazon competing with Barnes & Noble, or you had blogs competing with New York Times in print, right?
Yes.
And so anytime, there's always change happening in the world, and you can think of it as an opportunity or you can think of it as a threat and bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. But the reality is that crypto is massive. Like something like 500 million people have used it globally. Bitcoin was the best performing asset class of the last decade. The largest financial institutions of the world are now integrating this. And so at this point, I think it's foolish to pretend that this isn't happening.
Yeah. And now, another news. Okay, no, not news, but a hopium chart of the day. Hopium of the day. So it's basically a chart that I want to show you guys, right? So I don't know whether I can show it on screen when I'm talking. I'm just gonna have to learn how to edit that in, but I'll figure out a way. So on this specific chart that I'm looking on my own screen, so this chart is from On-Chain Mine. It's a Bitcoin risk-reward probability tool. So it's an indicator, looks at every daily Bitcoin close in history and calculate how often the return over different horizon, whether positive or negative. So this chart shows simple but powerful idea about Bitcoin returns. So as you hold Bitcoin for longer, the chance of being down on your investment historically falls dramatically. Okay, so if you look on the chart on the left, we have very, very short holding periods. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and on the right we have longer time horizons, 1 quarter, 1 year, 2 years, and up to 10 years. Okay, so you can see that if you check Bitcoin's return based on daily closing price historically, over one day, there's about a 47% chance of a negative return. Okay, if you hold it well over a week, that drops slightly to about 44%. Over 1 month, it's about 43%. Over 1 quarter holding period, the chance of a loss falls to about 37%. If you hold for 1 year, the probability of being down drops sharply to approximately 24%. And if you hold it for over 2 years, it's about 15%. And if you stretch that holding, right, period to approximately 3 years, 5 years, or even 10 years, the chance of being down historically falls to near zero, right? Less than 1% and effectively 0% on a 10 years horizon. Okay, so I'm hoping, we don't have to hold it for 10 years in order for Bitcoin to make a comeback, getting back to that all-time high of 126,000, or dependence on, what's your average of entry, of course. But I think it's a very powerful chart, and it really matters in our conversation today, because why am I telling you all of this? Because what this chart is telling us is that Bitcoin price volatility, it gets smoothed out over time. Okay? Short periods can easily go red, and that's volatility. And you and I, we know this, right? But over longer time horizons, Bitcoin historically trends upwards. Okay? Enough that the chances of being in the red shrinks almost completely. Okay, so guys, we're in the longer hodl game here. Okay, if you're a trader, very likely you won't find my content that useful. But you know what? In my compound life, it's about stacking quality asset, hard asset. In my case, you know what? I've started my journey for compound life, buying properties and real estates. And along the way, I started that journey a lot more earlier, before the existence of Bitcoin, right? And ever since when I kind of gotten into Bitcoin, I kind of uncovered the fact that, based on the Bitcoin's CAGR, based on the growth, based on the adoption, the fundamental for Bitcoin, it's simply just remarkable. And it's an asset that I truly believe that anyone should hold on to. So that's why I always come to you guys and say, hey guys, make sure you've got a hodl bag for Bitcoin. That's a hodl bag that you want to stack, continue to stack, and treat Bitcoin like a bank, right? And now, because the fact that Bitcoin has matured enough that it has now become, an adult in such a way, it has less volatility, and we should even hold it for even longer period of time, because there's so much institutions, nations adopting Bitcoin, right? And they're all coming for your Bitcoin, guys. So bear that in mind. So you just want to stack and hold. But of course, you can always have a swing bag, like what I do. Every now and then I buy low, sell high, take some profits, and then, use some of that profits to stack more real estate properties in my portfolio. So that's what I do. Okay. And of course, the chart, it doesn't guarantee future returns. So it's a non-financial advice. Always do your own research. But it shows the historical probability based on all past daily closing prices. So I think it can still be pretty factual. Okay. So one thing that I want to end today's video will be the one final hopium. This hopium is from CZ. the founder of Binance, the crypto exchange, which is like one of the biggest crypto exchange in the world right now. So what he said was 5 to 10 years horizon overall for Bitcoin, we're going to go up, right? And he also have the beliefs that for this specific cycle, we haven't gotten to the high yet, right? So he is also kind of believing the fact that the 4 years Bitcoin cycle is broken, and we are kind of going through a new super cycle now. Okay, and that's according to CZ. Okay, so but you know what? They're all influencers, analyst influencers that are always bullish. Okay, so that's why, you know, I'm always here to try to calm things down, to manage you guys, to manage your expectation, and always remind you guys whenever possible, please take profit. Okay, so watch the video.
If you look at a 5-10 year horizon, it's very easy to predict. We're going to go up. If you look at a 1 year horizon, which is like what the most of the common right. Framework is, 2026, I'm not sure. You may be. I think I have very strong feelings that it will probably be a super cycle.
Be a super cycle.
2026, yeah.
For Bitcoin.
For Bitcoin.
And what super cycle to you means what?
Well, normally Bitcoin follows 4 year cycles historically. If you look at historic data, like every 4 years, you know, there's a all-time high and then there's a drop. But I think this year, given the U.S. being so pro crypto and every other country is kind of following, I do think we will see this. We will probably break the 4 year right. cycle. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for watching. Maybe tomorrow will be the same similar setup again. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What you guys thinking? You know, are we going into a bull super cycle? Are you bearish or bullish on Bitcoin right now at this moment of time? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Okay, it's always great to hear from all of you guys. Remember to hit the like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks guys. Bye bye.